What is going on, everybody? It's Matt Marchese, also known as Islanders Daily, your daily news from the four-time Stanley Cup champions, New York Islanders. And on today's episode, we're going to be talking a little bit about the Islanders, giving some updates, as well as they get ready to play the San Jose Sharks. And we had Patrick Waugh announce that Ilya Sorokin will be starting against the San Jose Sharks, and David Riddick will get the start against the Detroit Red Wings. So they're giving Sorokin another game, and I'm okay with this. I think that is fine. Hopefully, it's able to kind of get Sorokin in a groove. They gave him to the weaker team. However, the Sharks are an interesting team. Yes, they're weaker. Yes, they don't have a win yet this season, but they are still an interesting team. And why is that? It's because they're young and they have talent on that team who can, score goals. They can score goals, the San Jose Sharks, and I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like they can't. They're an interesting team, the Sharks, and I'm looking forward to seeing how the Islanders perform. Obviously, they were shut out in their last game against the Pittsburgh Penguins, losing 3-0. But they had that game against Anaheim where they scored the 6 goals, lost. Obviously, they got blown out by Carolina. Utah, they scored 3 goals but lost 6-3. So we're seeing the Sharks goaltending and defense be very bad this year. So this is a good opportunity for the Islanders offense that has been clicking in the recent 2 games to really expand on that and get things going and hope to get this offense rolling. And this is a good opportunity for Sorokin to earn that confidence back and try and beat the San Jose Sharks, because I think this is the best opportunity for Sorokin. Obviously, the Sharks lost that game to Vegas in overtime and all that stuff. So I think this is the right move to try and get Sorokin that confidence back. And hopefully it works out. Hopefully that they're able to get things rolling for Sorokin. And they're giving him to the weaker team, as I said. And they're going to give David Riddick the Detroit Red Wings, who are the better team. So it is a pretty cool, it's pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting, and I like it. I think Riddick played good, and, obviously, if we look at the stats, Riddick is 1-0. He's only played the one game against the Edmonton Oilers, but in that game, he had a .939 save percentage, and he was great in that game, David Riddick. I was surprised they didn't start him the very next game, but he was really good against the Edmonton Oilers, and if Riddick's able to play like that all year, I mean, that's all you could ask for, really. I mean, with the troubles the Islanders had with the backup goalies last season, if they have a guy like Riddick playing, obviously this level would be insane to sustain, and if he did, he'd be a Vezina Trophy candidate. But just to play like an average goaltender, I think that's going to help a lot. And the fact that we know Riddick can play games like that gives me a lot of confidence for him going forward. And obviously, Sorokin has struggled this season. He has an .861 save percentage. He's 1-3 on the year, and he has a 4.13 goals against average. So if they want him to, get rolling, get the confidence back, this is the game to do it against the San Jose Sharks. And we're going to have to see if Sorokin is able to perform at a level. Because if he struggles again, and then if Riddick plays good against Detroit, you got to start thinking maybe you're going forward with David Riddick in the future for a little while until Sorokin is able to gain that confidence back. And this is what Patrick Waugh said about Ilya Sorokin. He said, I think you want to get some momentum and feel good about yourself. And I hope that he's going to get a lot of confidence from that third period. He should, because he played really well. Obviously, talking about the game against the Senators, where he played very well in that third period. And they're going to roll with him to try and keep building up on that momentum, keep building on that confidence, and going for this game. Then a little bit of more goalie talk here. Burke Hood, an Islanders prospect, was named the WHL's goaltender of the week after stopping 64 out of 67 shots to grab back-to-back wins this weekend for the Vancouver Giants of the WHL. So congratulations to Burke Hood. I thought he looked pretty solid. Obviously, they said he had trouble adjusting to the shooters in the training camp for the Islanders. But he's definitely a guy to keep an eye on for the future. Goalies are a weird position to develop. Sometimes these guys never develop, and sometimes dudes who you never think would be anything develop really good. So it's just a really interesting thing, the goaltending. So always be sure to keep your eyes on goaltenders for prospects, because they're the most intriguing prospects in all of hockey, if you want my opinion, because you never know what you're going to get out of a goaltender. You could get one in the first round and they never turn out to be anything. You could get one in the seventh round and they turn out to be a very good goaltender. It's all about how you develop them and, how they develop. So congrats to Burke Hood for that. That's very cool and good sign for the New York Islanders. Hopefully it is a good omen going for, the future. And then finally, Wad did say Maxim Sipakov will be entering back into the lineup for the New York Islanders against the San Jose Sharks. And Stefan Rosner was tweeting saying Patrick Waugh's post-practice presser made it seem like Simon Holmstrom is the one coming out of the lineup for Maxim Sipakov. And I don't like that. I really don't. I do think that Holmstrom has struggled this season. Obviously, he's not playing at the level that Holmstrom was playing at last year, and he's not continuing to improve like I hoped he would, as I thought that would be the case. But I don't really think benching Holmstrom is the best move. I would much rather bench Kyle McLean over Holmstrom. In fact, though, if it was my way, I probably wouldn't bench anybody yet from that line because they are 2-0 since those changes have occurred. Even though I went on a whole rant about how those changes were horrible, they worked out for the Islanders. They won 2 games in a row, so I don't really know why you're changing it up after winning 2 games in a row. But I guess the Islanders want Sipakov back in the lineup, and they're going to take Holmstrom out. That's what it sounded like. It's not confirmed. I want to say it's not confirmed that Holmstrom will be out of the lineup. This is just from Patrick Waugh's post-practice presser that was held today where it made it seem like Holmstrom would be the one coming out of the lineup. But I hope that's not the case. I really don't. I think Holmstrom has a lot more to offer than Kyle McLean. But, again, I'm not the head coach. And clearly when I went on that whole rant saying that these line changes were horrible for Waugh, they clearly worked out. But I don't know if he's just making a change to make a change. Because, like I said, you've won 2 games with your new lineups that you've been rolling with. I don't know why you'd make a change now. But, hey, I'm not going to complain again because last time I did that, I ate my words. Maybe I should complain, and maybe it will, help things, kind of move along and work out. Maybe I'll be a jinx again, but I'm not going to complain. I'm going to let the game play out for itself and see what I have to say. Like I said, I'll always be the honest person. I'll always talk if they're playing good, if they're playing bad, and yeah, that's what we're going to have to see with the Islanders. But that's all I have for today's episode. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave some comments down below where I'll try and respond to you, get some communications going, talk to each other. And then as always, let's go Islanders.